Hey there smartphone fans, welcome back to Smartphone Voice. And if you've noticed my previous hands-on review of the Pocophone F1, you know there's more coming. And since this is the place for honest hands-on reviews on phones, I actually picked to review because I don't get sent out any phone or anything. Today I'm going to be focusing on the gaming part of the Pocophone F1 because let's face it, we all know it's fast. Snapdragon 845, 6GB of RAM, UFC 2.1 storage. This phone can't be slow, so it's no point showing you benchmark scores or how fast it opens apps, stuff like that, because we all know it's pretty fast. It's probably as fast as any other phone out there on the market. But that doesn't account in gaming, because gaming is something very specific. It requires a lot of software optimization and generally a very good hardware as well. And the Pocophone F1 has liquid cooling inside, and it should deliver better battery life, better thermals, and more stable frame rate in gaming than some of the previous released 845 Snapdragon phones. So technically it could definitely be better than the OnePlus 6, for instance, as a gaming phone. Now this is me running World War Heroes at the absolute highest settings, and the phone really doesn't even get warm after around 10 minutes of gaming. I wouldn't say the frame rate is 60 frames per second all the time, but it's really smooth and really steady. The game looks absolutely gorgeous and the motion is fluid. There's hardly any frame drops that I've seen in this game in the most intensive scenes, and it's a very good looking game, as you can see. And after playing a full round of World War Heroes 2, I'm going to check on the thermals and see if the liquid cooling is really doing its job. Now, if this was like the OnePlus 6, you would probably go to around 50 degrees, but that had a glass back. The Xiaomi Pocophone F1 is a hard plastic back, and the temperatures are really nice. I mean, 42, 43 degrees across the board. This is cool for a phone. It's like really cool because it's running an intensive game. Now, next to is onto PUBG, and you can see at 9:51, I'm at 51% battery. Everything is turned on HDR settings, ultra high graphics, and let's start running PUBG Mobile. To my knowledge, this is perhaps one of the most intensive and most played games on Android right now, and it's done so for a reason. First of all, gorgeous graphics. Second of all, we're very competitive multiplayer, and probably most of all is that it's a huge sandbox game, and this wasn't actually possible on mobiles up until the last generation with Snapdragon 835. And here I'm going to actually show you a few moments from my entire round that I played in PUBG. And here, as you can see, I've seen other Snapdragon 845 phones hiccup here and there on the landing, and with pretty smooth transition here. And here I've gathered some weapons, and I'm going to enter a hell of a gunfight. As you see later on, I got into a bit of an absolutely old school Western showdown. Once I get out of this building, I'm literally gonna get surrounded by a lot of guys, and I'm gonna kill all of them, which was pretty cool and pretty badass, if I have to say so. I'm not really very good at this game, but apparently the other guys were even worse than I was. So this is competitive multiplayer at its best, showing you that you can play PUBG Mobile full-blown competitively on the $300 Pocophone F1 and not miss a single frame. As you can see, the frame rate is very crisp, it's very solid, there's no slowdowns, even in super intensive gunfights, scenes where there's lots of characters moving, there's lots of shooting effects. Gorgeous graphics, really good frame rates, and I was probably with the best phone from all of them, and that's why I probably got most of the kills in here. But after playing around 20-25 minutes, let's check the thermals and of course how much battery life I've drained using PUBG. And as you can see, I've just drained 4% of battery in 21 minutes. So this is pretty nice, guys. and the signals were excellent. Again, 45 degrees, nothing more. But let's move on to the heaviest Android game out there, and one that's not available in the Play Store. You got it, that's Epic Games Fortnite for mobile. This game is running on the Unreal 4 engine, like PUBG Mobile, and this is the Xiaomi Pocophone F1 running on Epic settings. Now this is actually the first time I've played Fortnite ever on a mobile phone, and I have to say that Epic tried a lot to probably reproduce the one from the PC, and this was probably the mistake. The game doesn't feel as fluid as PUBG for some reason for me. It just kind of feels not suited for mobiles. But I'm not here to judge that. I'm here to judge the Pocophone F1's performance. This is basically as fast as an Android phone goes these days. The Q980 with the Huawei Mate 20 just appeared a week ago, so it's technically faster than the Snapdragon 845, but I doubt it's much faster in gaming. And the Fortnite here on Epic settings, I have to say, really doesn't look better than PUBG Mobile, and the models didn't seem that much more detailed, the world, the environment, but the game has frequent frame drops on the Epic settings on the Pocophone F1. The phone doesn't get hot or anything, but the frame rate often dips to around 30 frames per second, even lower at some stages. And I think this is perhaps mostly due to the optimization from Epic, or a kind of lack of optimization they've done. I don't believe for a second that this game looking like this should run with so much frequent frame drops on the Pocophone F1, which is clearly a phone built mostly for gaming, with the liquid cooling, with the fast Snapdragon 845. PUBG Mobile on super high settings absolutely flies on this phone. Yes, I think the textures are a bit better in Fortnite, but overall the environment and the world just doesn't seem that more graphically intense than PUBG Mobile. So this has been it for my detailed full gaming review of the Pocophone F1. There's a link to buy the phone from the description below. Check out my other videos, check out my hands-on review of the Pocophone F1, and I will be doing a full-blown camera review of the Pocophone F1 next. I leave you with a few more moments of me playing Fortnite, and I'll see you in the next episode.